Quiet.
Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
can you state
She's asking a
categorically,
question. Don't
Mr.
be
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You are
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can
No,
you
I'm
give
not
us a
going to give you a
question?
question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir.
I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to Dave versus the MSM. I'd like to thank you for joining me today, and I thank you for networking our information to anyone and everyone you know and love. The more people educated with the facts and the data and the science when needed, the more people to become empowered, and the sooner we end this reign of terror by the deep state. The title of today's presentation is The Cult, the Globalist Cult, does not want you in the lifeboat. You know, everybody, for the most part, knows about the Titanic and what happened in 1912, right? But right now, our country is the Titanic. And we've hit the iceberg. Frankly, it's true not just of the United States, it's true of every country in the world. And the people that are in, I use this term loosely, leadership positions, want you to believe that all is well, that we haven't hit the iceberg, and that they're telling the band to play on, just as occurred in 1912 with the Titanic after it hit the iceberg. Band, play on. And they want you distracted so that you don't realize we got a problem, Houston. And they want it so that you don't get in the lifeboat. Because if you get in the lifeboat, it's harder to strip you of your freedoms and your liberties and our constitutional republic. You see, the main way their band plays two songs, essentially, to keep you on deck of a sinking ship and not in a lifeboat. The two songs they know are the Censorship song, blocking access to the lifeboats, if you will, that they even exist. And the other is through the propaganda song, through their bought-off, lamestream fake media and all of their tentacles and outlets, which also includes Fox News, by the way. And if you haven't figured that out, you haven't been listening to me for at least 12 and a half years on the radio that I've been doing this. See, it's through propaganda that they keep you on the couch. They keep you mesmerized. They keep you distracted. Look up in the air, the balloon. Look at this crappy beer can surrounding crappy beer. You see? So they hit you with a propaganda song. Oh, I'm going to listen to that band play. Why are my feet getting wet? Why is everything kind of sliding down? Oh, just keep playing. Oh, the band's playing. Just keep listening. Keep listening. Keep sitting there. Whatever you do, don't get off that couch. Whatever you do, don't try to search for a lifeboat, let alone get in one. Right? Remember what Benjamin Franklin said. Quote, "Whoever would overthrow the liberty of a nation must begin by subduing the freeness of speech." End quote. So you subdue freedom of speech by censoring it. And you subdue freedom of speech by using propaganda to provide people with misinformation, disinformation, and to keep them in the dark, to keep them in their chairs on the deck as their feet are getting wet, as the items are sliding across the deck, but the band's playing. Don't listen to the two songs of propaganda and the song of censorship. Because if you do, you're going down with the ship. That's not an overstatement. James Howard Kunstler, a political analyst, I want to read to you something that he wrote that you'll never hear in the bought-off lamestream fake media. And he's telling you, get in the lifeboat. Brace for impact. We're already off the road. Now it's only a matter of how this vehicle comes to a stop in the ditch. Then it's a question of how each of us emerges from the smoldering wreckage. The main thing, though, is clear to everyone. What we were riding in is no more. We're out there stumbling around in the dark, in shock, trying desperately to assess our whereabouts and what has happened to us. Now the trouble with being ruled by psychopaths is that they don't care about other people. Right, they tell you to just keep listening to the band. Stay on that deck, even though your feet are getting wet and everything's sliding. They are actually incapable of imagining the lives of others, especially the fact that others care about each other and what happens to them. You may have noticed, for instance, that the psychopath Senator Lindsey Graham, globalist cult extraordinary member, went to Ukraine recently and declared, quote, "Russians are dying. We have never spent money so well," end quote. Only a couple months ago, he called for the end, boom, of Vladimir Putin. He stopped short of dissing Mr. Putin's mother. James Howard Kunstler goes on. Pathocracy always marches toward totalitarianism because pathocrats can't imagine a management of public affairs by a people who care about each other and their country. Therefore, everyone must be subject to incessant coercion and punishment, especially for their thoughts and especially for thoughts of opposition to pathocracy. However, there are certainly more people who care about each other than there are psychopaths in America. And that's what they don't want you to realize. We have them outnumbered by manyfold. Sometimes in history, the pathocrats are simply overthrown by the majority of humans with functioning emotional equipment. It's not easy, though, because in most other places around the world, the pathocracy became the sole owners of the guns and have armies and police at their disposal to put down revolts. That's not quite exactly the case here in the good old US of A. And with our Second Amendment to the Constitution. You see, they keep you out of the lifeboats by stripping you of your First Amendment right, free speech. They do it through censorship, and they do it through propaganda. And they're also after your Second Amendment rights. Another form of censorship, if you will. And they use their propaganda to get away with it. Their form of extinguishing freedom takes many fronts. Deplatforming. You're off Twitter. Since January 8th, 2021. Still am. The cult keeps you out of those lifeboats by stealth banning people. Manipulation of view counts. Hiding content. Removing content. Removing followers. Blocking access to websites and content. They do it by using their little deckhands to target, whether it's the IRS and the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of State, with their Global Engagement Center, right, that did nothing but censorship, with their military, with their Treasury Department, recently pointed out in their censorship operations. And then, of course, they use umbrella organizations that aren't exactly with the government, but they do exactly what the government tells them to do. There are institutes that are funded by middle-level puppets like Soros and Schwab. Ooh, they hate it when I call them middle-level, but they are middle-level. They're not the highest end rung of the ladder. No way. They want you to think they are, but they're not. And the boys on the highest rung want you to think that they're the highest rung of the ladder because it takes all the heat off them. Like who? Like the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Lazards, the Pinkases, the Warburgs, the Seifs, and the very top, the Payseur, Payseur family. The other thing they do now, they are so desperate, they're going after talk radio, right? They're trying to ban AM radio in electric vehicles because it interferes with how the car works. No, actually, automotive engineers have taught me that actually there's an easy software workaround that can be used in electric vehicles to get around that. In fact, Ford Motor Company just came out and said that. But there were some companies that decided, hey, we're also going to do this in our gas-powered vehicles. Well, that really got changed around. That got deep six because so many freedom fighters raised a ruckus. Just like they're raising a ruckus, they like to. You think that you don't have power. Really, what's happened to that crappy beer company with their crappy beer, crappy beer cans? How are they doing? Hey, how's Target doing with what they did? Oh, they're having trouble? Oh. How's Chick-fil-A doing recently with what they did? Oh, yeah, they're having trouble too. Yeah. Right. The cult doesn't want you in the lifeboat because when you're in the lifeboat, well, you can't have your remaining freedoms or liberties stripped. You can't have your financial resources stripped. No. You see, folks, the ship's sinking. It's not being negative. It's just a point of fact. And you have to know that. And if you keep following their vapor, you're going to go down with the ship. And that doesn't mean there's a bigger ship and better ship coming. But you got to get in the lifeboat to get in that bigger ship that's going to sail, smooth sailing, for many decades to come. But you got to be in the lifeboat. And this is why they're trying to block the access to the lifeboats and block people's knowledge that lifeboats even exist. Your lifeboat is made of facts and truth and data and science. Where do you find that? In the independent media. Single best thing you can do is turn off their propaganda arm and their censorship arm, the bought-off lamestream fake media, and that includes Fox. Turn it all off. Don't buy their newspapers, the New York Times and the Washington Post and the rest of them. Don't listen to their syndicated radio shows. Go to the independent radio. Look, the most independent radio station on the planet is Wham Talk 1600. You can stream it live. You can go to davejanda.com. We have it on 24/7. Hit the listen live. It's not just my show on Sundays from 2 to 5, but every show. Or you can go to whamwaamradio.com. You will get content you will never get from any other source because it's independent. It is not owned by the syndicators. That's what makes it unique. It is your lifeboat. And so is davejanda.com. I don't do the right-left garbage. That's meant to put people at odds with each other and distract people. I do the up-down axis. That's what Ronald Reagan taught me when I first started doing healthcare policy in 1988 for his administration. Nothing right-left. All up-down. Up being freedom. Down being oppression. Stop those that are involved in government and industry that are focused on oppression and push the freedom agenda. That's what we do at davejanda.com, which makes it unique. The Titanic sunk in 1912 on the ocean. Our country is a modern-day Titanic, and it's sinking. So, what do? We protect ourselves. We get in the lifeboat. We protect our financial security. Best financial insurance you can have, again, a component of the lifeboat. Hard assets. Physical gold, physical silver. Storable food, storable water when they're messing with the food supply. Networking with your members of your immediate neighborhood about, okay, if things go really south, let's talk about what each of us brings to the table so that we all can protect ourselves, create a community lifeboat. Okay, well, you, Janda, you're a surgeon. So you can help on the medical side in case somebody has a problem, okay? And you're really handy at building things, neighbor A, and well, we're going to enlist you to do that, and right. It's key. There's nobody from the military. There's nobody from the government going to come and help you get in that lifeboat. Only you can do that. But if you decide to stay on the couch, enjoy the trip down to the bottom of the ocean. Cruel? No, just truthful. We want to save as many people as possible. And wishing we're not in this situation is not going to do it. Sitting on the couch, not going to do it. Pretending this doesn't exist, not going to do it. Waiting for the next election, the next politician, the next military leader to save the day, is not going to do it. But that's what they want you to do. Because that way you're just listening to that band play those two songs of propaganda and censorship. And you're watching, your feet are getting, now it's, water's up to your waist. And things aren't even sliding anymore because they've already slid off the complete ship. Don't fall in that trap. You're too good for that. You have too much to bring to the next ship after we get out of this lifeboat. I thank you for joining me today. Until next time, Dave Janis signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Thanks for being here today. We are available 24/7. DaveJanet.com. Tremendous amount of free content at DaveJanet.com. Subscription content where I go into detail, where I bring information forward that I cannot bring forward on the radio or on any social media platform or any video format. We do have our video format, but it's protected on the subscription side at DaveJanet.com. 30 cents a day for priceless information. You don't have to sign up for a year, sign up for a month. But you're not going to get rid of it because the information you get, you will never see in any other place. It puts you months, years, in some cases, decades ahead of the curve. Until next time, Dave Janis signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Thanks for joining me again.